Do you know why Vince McMahon is the smartest person in wrestling? Because he was able to sell singing wrestlers to children. Back in the 1980s, the World Wrestling Federation released the wrestling albums 1 and 2, which I reviewed in detail on my last video. Today you could listen to about 97% of those songs from these two albums without feeling ironic about it. These warriors who had spent years traveling across the country abusing their bodies have become no different than the dancing robots at Chuck E. fucking Cheese. But as the 1980s faded away, so did the cheesiness that permeated within it. The 1990s and 2000s brought about an edgier, more serious style of wrestling. But in an effort to troll wrestling fans all over again, Vince McMahon came out in 2004 and dropped this bombshell: WWE Originals. It's the same cheesiness and unlistenability that came with those wrestling albums of old, only 100 times worse. Just 17 tracks of never-ending, god-awful grunts and wails that somebody had the gall to categorize as music. Each of the songs were tailored around each of the wrestlers' musical tastes. For example, Rikishi sings R&B, John Cena raps, Kurt Angle does whatever the hell it is he does, so you are left with a huge variety of music on this one album, meaning everyone can like it or no one will like it. And thanks to us living in the internet age, I don't need a physical copy of the album in order to review it. I can just find the tracks online for free. Lucky me. Let's get something out of the way right now. Of the 17 tracks featured on this album, 2, and only 2, are worth listening to. The first one is Don't You Wish You Were Me by Chris Jericho. It gets a pass because Jericho actually has a band, and therefore ranks higher than most of the other people featured on this album in that regard. The second good song on this album is Basic Thugonomics by John Cena. And for a guy who writes all his own lyrics, I really can't hate on the guy for this song. Those two songs work best because they are the best reflections of those guys' respective gimmicks. But after those two diamonds in the rough, it all goes downhill. Let's start this audio fever dream with Can You Dig It, a song in which Booker T raps. Well, I think their idea was that Booker T was going to rap, but the majority of the song was just this.
Yeah, yeah. What?
Then when he finally gets to rapping some lyrics, well...
You can find me center stage, center of attention. Booker T's here like Vin Diesel's triple X'in'. On the count of 3, I want y'all to spit it. 1, 2, 3, can you dig it? Yeah, doing it like it.
Wow, okay, only 4 measures of verse. That's not a whole lot to start things off. Maybe he's just warming up.
Don't be fooled, because he proved.
Okay.
Time to come and speak at your school.
Yeah.
I talking like I'm walking.
Okay, you're doing good.
And if you know the words, hit it. Can you dig it?
Oh, come on, Booker! I mean, come on, you have to work harder than that. Later on in the album, Rey Mysterio joins in on the rap game with Crossing Borders, a song with a slightly racist title about following your dreams. At least I think that's what it's about. He raps half the song in Spanish. Not that it's a bad thing. I kind of like it, despite not being able to understand it. And Rey actually has a good sense of rhythm going on.
I was born in Califa, soy americano, pero mi vida es 100% mexicana. I reminisce on my school days in San Diego when I told them my dreams, me dijeron que no puedo.
The one thing I have a gripe about this song is the chorus. Every time the chorus plays, part of what he's saying is obscured by the sound of a guy laughing. I'm sorry, what? No, wait, hang on. You, stop laughing. Ray, what were you trying to say? Jeez, come on. Now from the kinda racist to the blatantly racist, Eddie and Chavo Guerrero, rap in the song, We lie, we cheat, we steal.
We don't ever get caught for nothing. Nada. You know why? Because we lie.
We can't rap, we can't sing, we can't carry a beat. But boy, can they wrestle. Next! Oh, and if you think this rapping is bad, just wait until the bridge.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Even when I rap more better.
You rhymed better with more better. The poet laureate of the WWE, you ain't.
It's like this body when wrapped in leather. Perfection, and it gets no better.
The hell?
It's like this body when wrapped in leather.
No, stop. I don't want that mental image. Why does Kurt Angle think that his body wrapped in leather is an example of perfection? What kind of fetishes does this guy have? Well, actually, I shouldn't ask. This is a guy who once said in a promo that he wanted to have bestiality sex with Booker T's wife.
I rap like I wrestle, envy of others. The only white rapper in tune with the brothers.
Moving on. Ladies, do you perspire to the thought of Rikishi grooving on you?
This world is crazy. Holding on tight, trying hard just to keep control. Don't let go.
I mean, the lyrics are alright, I guess, and Rikishi can carry a tune. But the chorus, oh man, the chorus.
Put a little ass on it. Oh, listen, baby. Put a little ass on it. Like a baby, like a baby.
Do you get it? Rikishi singing a song about ass? Cause his ass was his gimmick? What does that even mean, put a little ass on it? Whose ass? What's the ass being put on? Is it the girl's ass? Rikishi's ass? I don't want to think about that. Let's move our focus over to the lady folk of the album. One of the first tracks is the love ballad, I Just Want You, sung by Trish Stratus. One word to describe it? Boring! The music and lyrics of this song are slow and just so bland. You think pop music today is the worst thing ever? Even for the industry's low standard, this song would not make a dent in the charts. And it's bad enough that the music is boring. Things could have been better if someone decided to wake Trish up from her nap before they began recording.
I just want you, there's no denying. I just want you, there's no hiding. I just want you. Do you want me?
You do realize the microphone is open, Trish. You know, you can project a little bit, you know, emote.
Got a feeling that it's time to make a change.
Not that much. Here's a techno dance song performed by Stacy Keibler. It's got a decent beat to it if you're into that sort of music, but Stacy's looks and charm do not translate well into the world of singing.
Say that you want me, say that you need me. Isn't it time to walk the walk? A lot more action, no more talk.
God, do these women take Quaaludes before coming to the studio? Why do they sound so drowsy? Because, Stacy, I don't really want to dance. I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think you could take Trish Stratus and Stacy Keibler, two of the most beautiful and recognizable women in all of wrestling, and make them completely boring. But if anyone can do it, by God, it's the WWE. Let's address the elephant in the room with this album. On the cover art, it clearly states that Stone Cold Steve Austin will perform music. It says right there under the Music Performed By heading. But when you pop in the album, what do you hear?
What?
So I don't.
What?
I don't want
What?
a beer now. Don't want a
What?
beer now.
What?
Don't
What?
want a
What?
beer now. Don't want
Drink
a
a
beer
beer.
now. Don't.
That's right, just a lame-ass bait and switch. Austin sings nothing on this album, just a few spoken word tracks where he shoots the breeze with Jim Johnston. It's just like in the wrestling albums 1 and 2, when Hulk Hogan was advertised on the albums, but only showed up for one track, and it wasn't much to write home about.
Look in my eyes.
Austin was retired at this point in the game, so he wasn't the biggest active star like Hogan was, but he was obviously still a big enough name that WWE decided to put him on the album so more people would buy it. I would say it's not wise of the company to deceive the buyers like that, but then again, we have heard Steve Austin sing before.
Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
Do you really want more of that?
We had enough of the what you
You know, I agree, Dudley Boys. I've had enough too. I'm stopping this review. I know I'm skipping a few tracks. Sorry, Lillian Garcia, but that's it. I'm just done. How could you put an album like this out in 2004? Did no one remember the 1980s? Wrestling in the 80s was cheesy, so it made sense that the wrestling albums were too. But by this point, the product had become much more serious and adult-themed. Everyone on the planet was more cynical. You can't even listen to this album for a laugh like you can with Pile Driver. I think WWE Originals will actually age worse than that one did. Wrestling fans won't like it, non-wrestling fans sure as hell won't like it, so what's the point? Having such a wide variety of music is going to turn off a lot of fans too. Some people just like rock, some people just like R&B, some people just like rap. So depending on who's buying the album, a lot of the songs on this album aren't going to get listened to. And if you do like one type of music, chances are you only listen to the good kind. And with some rare exceptions, you certainly won't find that on this album. If we have to wait another 20 or so years for another one of these singing wrestler albums to come out, it will be too soon. I'm Brian Zane, and this has been Wrestling with Regret. I'll see you next time.
Lights out, one tag, two tag, kaboom! Let 'em feel the pain, don't count 'em out too soon. Let 'em hit the mat and pick 'em up on two. Suffer, pain, hurt, you're through, over, done. Body count tally, last call, move on, 3D finale.